I've always been pretty outgoing, not like typical like baseball, football. Like I played soccer for like years and years, but I wasn't ever like super broy or anything. And my mom was never like, "Oh, you need to be," or you. She never treated me differently because of it, so I didn't really feel like it would have been a surprise.
Thank you so much for joining us, Mick and Joanne. And I'm Rick Miller with Gay Sons and Mothers, and it's amazing to have you here. So, welcome. Okay, so tell us about your mom and you.
Uh, I love my mom. Like I remember when I actually have two moms, but like I remember my favorite part about my family was my mom's. Like I was born an only child, and so like my moms were my everything. Like I had my friends, and they were awesome, and I lived down the street with from one of my friends for a long time. Um, but like my moms have always been there for me. It was my mom's like were the ones who introduced me into the world of like the arts and singing and all that stuff. It was my mom who was like, "You should do voice lessons," and I was like, I don't know, we'll see." And then now I'm a musical theater major at my school, so like clearly it was very influential on where my life turned.
That's amazing. So, tell us about your age and where you go to school.
Yeah. I'm 20. I'm a junior at Emerson College, musical theater major, dance minor, uh, graduating next year, which is so weird, but I love it here. It's tough, but it's definitely worth it, and like I feel like I'm learning a lot, and I'm glad that it's what I pursued because I definitely think that like if I chose something else, I would have regretted it.
That's amazing.
And it's also opened my eyes about like how musical theater can be applied to more than just like stage performance, which has been super fun. And I've made so many friends here, which who I all love, and I've met so many great people, and I like it here a lot.
That sounds amazing. And I live in the same city as you, so I get to enjoy this great place. How old were you when you came out, if you formally came out? Nowadays, it's different, but how did you know you were gay and how did you handle it? And when did you share it with your moms?
I always knew that since my moms were gay, I was like, I didn't really feel as much of a pressure to like officially be like, "Hey, I'm gay, by the way." But like, I feel like maybe 14, 15, I was like, just because I probably never said it out loud, I am gay. And they were like, "Yeah, girl, we know." But I think it was around then. But like, I never was like, "Oh, I need to say it."
Do you think she knew? Your mom that's here right now?
Yes. Yes.
How do you think she knew?
I don't know. I feel like we'd be like watching a movie or something, and she'd be like, "Oh, he's cute," and I was like, "Girl, you don't like men, so."
Yeah, well, right, not in that way, but
I do. I like men. They're fine. Yeah. I got man crushes. Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're fine. They're okay. But yeah, and I feel like I would never really. I've always been pretty outgoing, and like not like typical like baseball, football. Like I played soccer for like years and years, but I wasn't ever like super broy or anything. And my mom was never like, "Oh, you need to be," or you. And she never treated me differently because of it, so I didn't really feel like it would have been a surprise.
do you ever compare your relationship with your mom to some of your friends?
I do, especially here.
And what do you see? What do you come up with?
It makes me realize that I lucked out because like a lot of my a lot of my friends have a lot more like just like baseline struggles with their parents and their moms. And I'm like, my parents are very supportive of me and are openly communicative with me and are interested in me and they listen to me and they it feels more like a less like more like I feel like a lot of my friends' parents and their moms like they still treat them like they're in middle school, and my parents don't do that. Like they've adjusted as I've gotten older to how our relationship is, I feel.
That's incredible. One of the things that comes up in these interviews is this mutual sense of love and appreciation. And sometimes it's never been spoken about before, and it's so touching. And other times it isn't anything new. They're just reporting it to me. But I'm loving these dynamics. So, Joanne, have you learned anything from listening to Mick right now, or any reflections on being a mom to him and what it meant or means?
I don't think that I don't think that I've learned anything new. I always um, love listening. I love listening to whatever he's got to say, whatever he's got to say. Um, in regards to him, so Michelle, who's my ex and Mick's other mom, so we were 40 when Mick was born. So, we waited a little bit, and to be honest, that's all I really just wanted to have kids, right? So, when he got here, I was like, woohoo, let's go. Um, and truly, honestly, personally, I loved every minute of it. Even the struggles or come on, you got to go to sleep or whatever. Like I love kids. And honestly, I guess Mick seemed easy. I don't know. He just was just very loving, very thoughtful. We were always doing fun things. I loved all of the different changes that he went through in his life. He's always been very he's been resilient. He also he's also been able to learn through perseverating through things that are struggling. Like we've been able to kind of this is really hard right now, you're gonna and try to get through stuff like that. He's I could sit we could talk for hours. I could tell you like 1,000 things. I could tell you stories of my favorite, the favorite, you know yeah. And I'll tell you one of my favorite stories because this is just, so he was in a daycare and because we both work, we, both have careers. And so so he was like 3 or 4 years old and there was picture day. It's one of my favorite stories, picture day. And so the guy who's trying to take his pictures, like, trying to get him to laugh or smile or do something. And he's like, oh, hey, do you got cats? Do you got dogs? You got whatever? And he's getting a little frustrated. Like, I don't have any animals. But all of a sudden he's like, he goes, I got two moms. Right. And so, the daycare, which we love them, they were like, we come in, we got to tell you the story from today. So I just, loving it up.
That's a great one. And I love the fact that he has two moms and didn't have to worry about coming out in quite the same way that other kids may.
And you're right. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
When did you begin to think he probably was gay?
You know, right away, early. Do you know what I mean? It's just, you just sort of know. I sort of, there is gaydar. I believe in it. I guess you just sort of know, right? And I guess you just know. I don't even know how to explain it. I don't know how you explain it.
I get it. My mother knew.
Just sort of know. And I would just waited. I would ask him, do you have any somebody, me. I don't want to anybody you're seeing. You got a crush on anyone? Do you know what I mean? Like, so you try to be very gender neutral, especially I'm for my mom, it was, do you have a boyfriend? Not that she was really asking or whatever, but that's what it was. But
Okay, so when you knew for sure that he was gay, it was no big deal.
it is. Hmm.
That's great. You're one lucky guy.
I'm lucky. Are you kidding me? I'm lucky.
So you're both lucky. We're all lucky. That's great. What's your relationship like now?
I mean, it's definitely changed since I've come to school. I think like we appreciate when we do get to be together more. Like I like when we're together or we're calling each other, it's more intentional, I'd say.
Absolutely. It's definitely changed. It was very difficult. I mean, because Mick being he's my only son or whatever. I do have some step sons, but Mick is my only son. And so it was really difficult, when he went to school because, all right, it was very difficult. It was painful. Do you know what I mean? It's just, it's hard because you're trying to get used to the change. I mean, it's okay. It's okay. But you're trying to get used to letting them be adults, right? I had to let him be an adult and do his thing and be there, you know, and, and when I'm very conscious about when he's home or whatever that I make plans with him to be together. Do you know what I mean? Like, so like, hey, when are we getting together? That's very important to me. So, and it's also true about now like, when he's at school and we get on the phone or hey, let's FaceTime, so, that's what we're doing.
Oh, it's so hard not to feel good in your presence. It's so nice being with both of you. Do you talk about romance with your mom or sex?
Yeah, I feel like it probably didn't start until more, at least for the main part, till college, I'd say though. Cause like I remember when she'd be like, "Oh, are you seeing anyone?" I was like, "No," and that was the honest answer. Like
And that's what I was thinking too, is that I wasn't the person he wanted to tell, and I'm all right with that, but I got that.
like in elementary school, I probably had like three friends that were boys, and the rest were all girls. I was like, no, there's truly no, and like honestly, it just wasn't something that I was really that focused on. And then just like here, it just because like there's so many new people, it just comes up more, I'd say.
I think too for um so for Michelle, right? So Michelle works in a field where um you know uh, it's more open to talk about that kind of stuff. So like, you know, there's a drawer at her house that has condoms in it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So, and Michelle made sure that Mick knew that any of his friends were welcome to the drawer. Do you know what I mean? So help yourself, right? And she let you know right away, and we both did. You ever want to talk about stuff? You ever need something? You gotta, just tell us.
Well, I know, but still, who wants to tell their mother? Any advice for mothers from either of you that might be struggling with their kids being LGBTQ?
listen to listen, not listen to respond. I honestly think that when I have my friends are complaining about like their parents, or they'll be like, "Oh, I was on the phone with my mom today, and we were fighting, and she just wanted to be right the whole time." And while I get it, I'm stubborn too. Like I get the whole wanting to be right thing, but it's not the best if the result you're looking for is more communication with your kid.
I have tried to look at that myself because I do that sometimes, and I see that sometimes I need to just keep my mouth shut and just be listening. And he knows that. And he's told me that. He's told me, I just need you to listen. And I'd be like, you know what? You're right. I'm going to just sit here.
I remember that actually. That was like a really big conversation that we had probably in like early middle school, maybe. Like you were like, "Do you want me to solve the problem or do you want me just to listen?" And then I would, like, from then on out, that's what you say to me. You say, "Do you want me to help you?" Do you want me just to listen or do you want me to solve it? Yeah.
I say, what do you need? What do you need me to do? What do you need? Yeah.
That's so good. All parents need to hear that and stick to it. It's a really hard thing to do as a parent. And I love the fact that you were in middle school and you were asked that and you made the choice. You knew what you wanted.
He, he's the most important thing. And if you ever get the chance to interview Michelle, you will hear the exact same thing, is that, you know, it's just a joy, and just a joy.